Welcome back, welcome back. So, as you saw from the video clip of me explaining the struggles and troubles that I've had, I was going to wait to make the squeegee. I was going to wait to make the review of the squeegee after taking it out for a few spins. But I don't want people to watch the video after I've made all the major mistakes and problems that I've occurred. I wanted to share them as I went along, when it's fresh in your head. And I think most people could appreciate originality and that I didn't practice my views, points on the actual tool itself. You get to see it in its natural state because this is what one would encounter if they were to use it themselves. Now, one man's journey is not another man's journey, okay? We can all hope that we can have that same journey and get there, but ultimately, each person's journey and encounters along that journey will ultimately be different. This is a fact, all right? You can't have step when it comes to stuff like that. So I wanted to explain to y'all negative and positive that I've experienced. That doesn't mean that you're going to have the same results as me because I'm cut from a different cloth. All right? So this is video 4. I want to try this stuff out. Now, this job right here that I'm doing, it's one of the other locations that you saw me briefly talk about the Quicksilver and the Black Mamba. So I'm here every couple of weeks, so we're going to use this product. I want to use it by itself to find out first, and then I want to use it with the Glide. This too. Now, I am going to put a tablespoon to 1 gallon. Now, I'm not exactly sure. I got my gallon there. Most people would use a bucket, but I'm not most people. I'm a little bit unconventional the way I work, but still the results should still be the same. No matter if you put it in a bottle or a bucket, it doesn't matter. So I'm going to put mine in a bottle, but the problem is I don't have a tablespoon. So I don't think there's a cup in here for measuring, but it would be nice if they include that because most people don't walk around with a tablespoon in their pocket. I know I sure don't, unless of course I'm drinking tea, but I'm not a tea drinker. That's for you English and British guys. That's an English Brit thing. And putting milk in your tea. It's actually quite tasty. So I'm just going to eye it up. Now, by any means, do I claim to know what the hell I'm doing, because I don't. But I'm like anybody. I'm trying a new product for the first time. And one gets excited and wants to see how well it performs. Now, don't do as I do, seek as I sought. So, meaning do not follow and eye this up. You got to get the measurements down right if you want this to work. Sometimes you may want a little bit more, but follow the directions and then you decide if you want to have a little dab more. But if you don't understand, don't do as I do, seek as I sought. What that means is don't just eye it up. Stop being lazy and get the right stuff so you could use the product in the right way. Now, I'm going to put it in there and eye it up because I'm too lazy to go buy a tablespoon or go grab one from home because it just kind of slipped my mind. So We all know what we think a tablespoon looks like. Well, we should hope. One should hope that you at least know that. So you use your better judgment. You know what I mean? But it's not rocket science. So we're gonna get this going, and I can't really use the Quicksilver on ore because I have to use a small squeegee. Just a lot of French panes in here, and the windows are small enough for an 18, but you're stuck doing cross pulls, which I might do that. Like I said, this tool is a fantastic cross pull, straight pulling machine with very little mistakes compared to most channels I've used. I never have a problem with mistakes with straight pulls anyway, because I know how to do straight pulls properly. But most people, as simple as it is, most people don't know how to do it properly, so they don't have to put a rag on a pole and detail the corners. Now, some people can say, yes, I know how to straight pull, even without putting a rag on a pole, but I do it because I'm thorough. And that's what a professional does. Make sure everything is done right. Yeah, well, yes and no. Because if you're a professional, you should never ever have to detail your windows because it should be done right the first time. That's my logical thinking of it, but let's jump into it. I'm gonna use this in my Wagtail, for my Wagtail. And I'll probably break out the Sorbo on the doors because they're big enough. So let's jump into it. Stay tuned for the other review of the S arm. I don't know why it's called the S arm because it's not even shaped like an S. It's shaped like a T. Should be called the T bar arm. The T bar arm. I don't know. But stay tuned for a review on that and the rubbers. I have to wear that rubber down and try it out because I imagine the one in there is the old formula and the ones in the bag is the new formula. I think. Louis, correct me if I'm wrong, but all right, let's jump into it, baby. I feel like I want to sprinkle this on. I feel like I want to sprinkle this on some food. That is really strange. Wonder why he has that salt shaker top on there. All right. All right. First off, we notice that it's clear, right? So clear you can't even tell the window's wet. This is how this will look after you squeeze it. It will be crystal clear. Just like GG4, it gives a better shine. All right. So, oh my goodness. Right off the back, you see the water line from when I squeegee right here? This is where it stops. I know it's hard to tell, but right off the back from that first pull, it didn't leave any water behind from when I pulled. Remember I told you these are very good at straight pulls. But right off the back, what I noticed that glided very, very nice. As if I had a ton of soap in there. Actually, 100% better. Let's try that again. That was music to my hands. Look, there's nothing to be detailed. Outstanding. It's amazing that it has this much glide with no soap. Now I see how Louis be moving like that. This is very interesting right here, man. I think I like this stuff. I gotta tell you, I've used some stuff, GG4, GG3, GG Glide, and the orange stuff from Bright Window Cleaning. What's that orange stuff? Only one Detroit Sponge has it. I forget the name of it, but that stuff was good too. But I don't remember, but when I was using the GG Glide, I do not remember it being nice like this and smooth like this. I only put a little smidgen in there, because that, my friend, takes a teaspoon, not a tablespoon, a teaspoon, and not to a gallon, to 2 gallons. That's all you need, a teaspoon to 2 gallons. So that bottle that I showed y'all, it's going to go a long way. This is fantastic. Not only that, I can see that it does get the window wet longer because of the way I was applying it, and it just looked saturated, for lack of better words, and it's still wet. And I've been talking to y'all for a while, and the glide, oops, squeegee almost got away from me, and the glide is phenomenal. It's phenomenal. This is wet too, and it's still saturated. That's amazing. Amazing stuff, man. I'm gonna finish cleaning this place up. Let's go clean some more windows with this stuff. That when you apply the mop just glides on the window like butter, like it has wheels on it. So the other thing I noticed with this stuff, with this squeegee, is when you're not mopping, but when you squeegee, it gets right up to that crease, closes off beautifully. I noticed that. See, when I used to use Mormon on this job, let me try that again. I didn't do that too well. Yeah. Still doing it, but not as much. It's hard for me to show y'all because the solution is clear. Let's try it on this bottom one. Yeah, it's still doing it, but not as much. I guess I probably just didn't notice it as much. You see that bead of water? It's because it's clear. That's why I thought it got right up to the crease, but I think it's just the way these frames are made. It's not much. It's not even a gasket over here. So it's probably best to go down to the bottom of the frame rather to the side, because no one's really going to be looking down that low. Yeah, it's best to do that. But I don't like all this rubber exposed, so I'm going to shorten this up and see if that helps. I got to tell you, I think this is going to keep the window wet longer. I've used a lot of liquids in the market, and you see this is not really frothy, so it's not really more or less of a actual surfactant, even though it says window cleaning soap on the bottom. But I have to say, once I shortened up these ends, you see, once I shortened it up, I cut the rubber a tad. That made all the difference. I haven't yet to play around with the different settings, because that's enough rubber exposed over the actual lip of the channel itself. You could actually bring the rubber out further away from the leading edge of the channel to make your rubber a little bit more softer, depending on how much applied pressure you would like to do when you're squeegeeing, and also how hot the glass is. I don't know if anyone playing around with that and explaining that in their videos, when you would want to have the more rubber exposed, because I imagine there's some variables that has to play a role in that. and particularly the different types of frames and closing off. Now, what I am going to do is I want to see how well this closes off on the deepest of ledges. One of the accounts I have is one of the deepest ledges you will find out there in commercial and route work. So stay tuned for that video as we test this squeegee channel and handle a little more on different types of windows as well as deep frame ledges. How well does it close off? Well, let's test this out. Do we need to expose the rubber a little more so it has a little bit more forgiving flex when you're closing off on those deep ledges, or will it work fine as is? Now keep in mind, I'm used to a swivel, so that means you can manipulate the angle when you're closing off. So rather than closing like a fixed handle, you can close off on an angle, a slant. So that means you get to swivel the handle, so it doesn't matter what deep ledge you close off on, because if you can manipulate the angle, then you can turn it to where you can get a good clean close off, if that makes sense to y'all. Let's try this out with the Wagtail. Oh man. Oh man. Wow. It works nice with that Wagtail, man. It's super slick, especially with the one pass pad on there. I think this is gonna be my new formula, man. Heaven, I'm in heaven. Louie. I had no idea about that stuff, man. You've mentioned to that on a few occasions a long time ago when you saw my GG4. I think actually that review was the very first time that we discovered each other, when I made that review on GG4. And I was raving about how good it was. I'm sorry, GG, you got nothing on Sorbo. And I that's just my opinion. But I mean, like I said, man, I think we got a winner here, man. I give this a 10 out of 10, that solution. Now, you know how Wagtail reduces wrist fatigue and, carpal tunnel and all that jazz. It helps reduce the stress on that, on your joints and wrists and things. Now, I know it wasn't meant for the Wagtail, was meant to go with the Sorbo squeegee. But I gotta tell you, if you use that other than your Sorbo squeegee and you use it for the Wagtail, you gotta try it. You see, once you use that stuff, you will see what me and Louie was talking about, and some others that were talking about how good the product is. But some may not think it's all that, for reasons being they're so used to using all that damn bubbles. I mean, you can literally blow bubbles off the damn frames because all the soap laying on the framework. It's making your work dingy. It's creating more work, actually. And if you have too much soap, it doesn't allow you to move faster. Yeah, you may be able to move with precision because there's literally no water. It's all foam. So that means you get to do a lot of intricate moves, but you can't move fast because the soap won't allow you to. And I guarantee you, that soap in the hottest of days, I'm talking about Africa hot, will literally dry up on that window, and you'll be, it looked like Stevie Wonder and Ray Charles did that glass, man. I'm telling you, you better stop using all that darn soap, man. If you can't see and if visibility is an issue, here's one solution. Learn how to clean a window properly. You won't have to see what you're doing. I could clean windows in the dark. All I gotta see is a frame. I don't have to see the window because I know where my squeegee's going. I know where I'm moving. One thing that'll help y'all is wherever you want to point that squeegee, you should be looking a second or two ahead of that. Not looking at the actual squeegee. You should be looking a second or two ahead of that because you want to see where you want to make your next move and you want to see where that water line is. Don't concentrate so much on the target. Concentrate on where you want that target to go, if that makes sense. This is what's going to get your speed up something fierce. I've already explained this on exercises on how to really speed and your strokes, how to get faster. But this is Masters at Wagtail, and I'll see you on the next one. Louie, I had no idea that glide, man. That's something nice, man. 10 out of 10, I'm telling you. Don't take my word for it, but I gotta tell you, you're gonna love it.